Hello and welcome to Campus Drive, your one-way street to all things HCC. I'm your host, Matt Jackson, manager of Dragon Podcasts here on Dragon Digital Media. We have a special episode for you guys today as we take another cruise through campus featuring recent events, special guests, and dynamic programs all happening here at Howard Community College. Today we'll be talking about apprenticeships and what we offer at the college ahead of National Apprenticeship Week, which is November 17th through the 23rd. So hop in the passenger seat and let's take another ride through campus at the one and only HCC. Before we dive in, we want to talk a little bit about apprenticeships and what they are. An apprenticeship is an on-the-job training program aimed at skilled careers, particularly in trades. They allow individuals to earn a living while working towards their chosen professions. In the U.S., there are over 830,000 total apprentices, and the number of new apprentices has increased by 82% between 2008 and 2021. Apprenticeships are a fantastic way to gain hands-on experience, avoid student debt, and secure a clear career pathway. At HCC, we offer an array of different styles of apprenticeships, ranging from equipment technology, childcare professional, construction management, help desk support technicians, hospitality management, and IT, just to name a few. Today we have two very special guests with us. First, we have Naysa Peake, a student here at HCC and apprentice in the hospitality management field. And joining from the employer side, we have Chuck Chandler, general manager from the Residence Inn in Howard County.
Naysa, can you tell us a bit about your background and what motivated you to pursue an apprenticeship in hospitality management?
I think what really motivated me was Chuck's excitement. It's nice to know that your employer wants to pour into you. And Chuck, he has been working on this for so long. And it was once it finally came into fruition, I was like, well, I can't not do it now. And it's nice to know that there are employers out here who want to see you succeed, who see your craft, see your skill, and they're like, oh, there's more there, and let's tap into it. And that's how I felt. And I was like, well, let's go. And Chuck's excitement fed mine, and we just fed each other.
What has your experience been like so far in the apprenticeship program? What are some of the key skills that you've gained and some of the knowledge that you've learned?
It's definitely different. It is a work study application kind of program. It's different from just being a full-time student or just a full-time employee. You're both. Mm-hmm. And there's a big time management. Oh, I don't sleep. But it's all for the greater good. But it's what I'm noticing is I'm able to apply so much that I'm learning at work. I didn't even know I was doing that until I'm like, oh, I just did this quiz. I know the answer to this. So it's really nice to apply it. And I think that's one of the star of the program is being able to learn it in class, do it at work, and it makes you love the craft a little more.
Yeah, it kind of brings it off the page a little bit.
Exactly.
Apprenticeships can be very beneficial, but they can also be challenging to a student working a normal class schedule. I wanted to know what challenges she had faced during her apprenticeship and what's been some of the most rewarding aspects.
Again, time management is the biggest thing. It's you are a full-time student and a full-time employee here. The professors and the head of the apprenticeship, the chair, they want to work with you and they don't want you to overpower yourself. I took a lot of credits because that's just what I do, but they don't want you to do that. They want you to pace yourself. And if you can only do 9 credits, this is not it's the long run. So they want you to pace yourself and not overwhelm yourself. So that's nice to have the support. And if you want to be like me and take a bunch of credits, they'll support that as well. And the apprenticeship chair is always texting me, how you doing? Is everything okay? How's the balance? So that's the biggest thing is time management, work balance, life balance, and homework. And Chuck allows me to do some homework at work if I have some free time because my 24 hours are very limited.
Yeah.
So, but that's the biggest thing. But with the support here with the program at the school, with the teachers, it's very seamless.
And it sounds very collaborative, and I think that's a very important aspect of it to highlight how it takes both sides to kind of be on that same page in order to make it work. I'm glad to hear that you've been able to manage that, but they've also been open and giving you space to kind of figure it out, and I think that that's very key.
With all this hands-on experience, there has to be some future benefits down the road that will really empower Naysa to be able to continue to be dynamic in her field. How do you see this apprenticeship shaping your future in hospitality?
I mean, it definitely, I always tell people, even when we're interviewing at work for new employees, I'm always like, hospitality is not for the weak. Just because no 2 days are the same, you're working with people and emotions and expectations, and if that's not for you, it's not for you. But this has given me an even more love for the industry, to see that the professors care about it because they want to teach it, and the people who want to be involved in it, they love interaction. We have a couple of teachers in our classes. They just want to learn hospitality because you need hospitality to be a teacher. And then we have a couple of nurses as well because you need hospitality to be a nurse. Hospitality is everywhere. So I think that it just has made me just that much more into it, and just to know it's all around me. And I'm like, oh, I can apply this in restaurants, in hotels, you can apply it everywhere you go. So that's the biggest thing for me.
And it's specific to hospitality, but it's also applicable to everything.
To everything. There's hospitality all around you. So you can take this kind of apprenticeship and apply it anywhere. And I think that's the most rewarding thing, that again, it's all around you. You opening the door for somebody is hospitality.
Yeah.
You think it's just, oh, I'm just doing that. No, that is an act of hospitality. So it goes a long way.
And that's make or break behavior in some instances.
In some instances and in some industries. If you don't have the right attitude, you're not going to make it in a lot of these places. And I'm learning that, and that's pretty cool.
Understanding that hospitality management can be a whirlwind with the many expectations from guests and the day-to-day responsibilities, I was curious to ask Naysa to describe a typical day at her apprenticeship.
Can you walk us through a typical day at your apprenticeship, and what are some of your main responsibilities?
Yeah, so I'm a supervisor at the hotel, so I feel like I kind of wear a bunch of little hats here and there. I mainly oversee front desk and in housekeeping when the housekeeping manager is not there. So front desk is front office. That is what people see when they check into a hotel. That is the
front
face,
of house. Yeah.
That's the face of the hotel. So if you're in a bad mood and someone's coming to check in, everything's ruined. Because, so you do have to kind of have a mentality of leaving whatever you have going on in life or at school back there while you're at the front desk. You're dealing with guest problems. You're dealing with guest requests, amenities requests, questions, phones, emails. You're kind of doing it all at the desk, and you got to do it with a smile. So you're like, oh my God, the phone's ringing. This person needs that, and hello, how are you? So it's a lot, but again, it's not for the weak. But I think we have a pretty solid team at my hotel in particular. We have good culture. You can bounce off each other. So but front office is the main, that's the first thing you see. So you got to be on your P's and Q's at the front office. Yeah. And then housekeeping, a little less at the front, but in my opinion, housekeeping is the most important role in a hotel. Those housekeepers turn over our rooms so we can sell them. That's the name of the game. So happy housekeepers and a happy housekeeping staff means you're turning over rooms. Yeah. So, and it can get a little on busy housekeeping days, on sold out nights. So we were sold out last night, and we're sold out again. We got everyone coming out's coming in. Those can be, Chuck knows, those days can really, really take a toll on you, but you got to stay positive because you got to motivate your housekeepers, and you got to place inventory orders, and you got linen. So there's a lot of moving pieces, but I think it's, again, if everyone in the industry wants to be there, everyone wears a different hat, especially at our property. There's really there's roles, but we all pitch in. We all put our hands in. If our engineer is busy, we're like, Chuck, can you fix this toilet? And he'll go up there and he'll try his best. He may not fix it, but he'll try.
You gotta call Chuck.
Fake it to make it.
Yeah, fake it to make it. Come on.
So that the biggest thing in that is just teamwork. That is the biggest thing in hospitality, and those can be your no 2 days are the same. So if I could lay out my day, my Tuesday, my Thursday won't look like that.
It's a totally different itinerary.
Exactly.
And it sounds like you guys have to wear multiple hats, and you have to have at least that composure to be able to hop in those situations because it's a moving business.
Right.
And so that's cool.
And you're working with people who have, again, expectations. They're paying X amount of money. They're expecting this level of service, and they may ask you a question you've never been asked before, and you must answer it on the fly. You may not have the answer, but there's a proper way to answer it. If you don't have the answer, well, I don't know, but let me go see if I can figure it out for you. Not like, I don't know, good luck. There's just levels to it. So you do have to kind of compartmentalize everything, but also like everything's one whole.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts.
And I hear, just when you talk about it, a lot of it is reflective of like the energy you bring. And
Absolutely.
And I think that's key too. And I'm glad that you guys have been able to cultivate, a positive energy when you approach it. And it seems like, when I was talking with Chuck, he has it, you have it. And I think that that's kind of like the silver lining under everything you guys do is the way you approach it, not just what you do, but how you approach doing it.
Yeah, no. We had in one of my classes, one of our segments was on like effective management skills, and we were just going over that. And I'm like, oh, that's Chuck. Oh, that's Chuck. Oh, that's Chuck. And my professor knows Chuck, and Chuck is an effective manager. He's all about empowerment, and he wants us. If you bring a question to Chuck, he's like, well, how would you solve it? And you're like, no, I brought it to you because I want you to help. But he knows we have it in us, and that it really starts at management, and it starts with the people you can confide into. And if you have a problem, if you have no one to go to, if your GM has his door closed and you have an issue and you got to solve it on your own, that's not creating the culture that you want. So I think Chuck and all the managers at the hotel create that environment and that trust and empowerment that we can handle it if we have to, but if we can't, we know we have someone to lean on.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Campus Drive. I'm your host, Matt Jackson, here on Dragon Media. We're talking about apprenticeships. I'm sitting here with Chuck Chandler, General Manager and hospitality industry veteran for over 30 years, as we talk about the role of apprenticeships, training and development, and its impact on business. Chuck, from an employer's perspective, how do apprenticeships benefit your organization?
Well, for us, it's all about building loyalty. I mean, it's a commitment in the future of individuals within the organization. We're looking for creating opportunities and pathways for young people to develop and grow and become more and more loyal to the hotel as well as the company to provide opportunities for advancement for them.
Oh, amazing. So when you think of the training and the development, what kind of training do you guys provide for apprentices like Naysa?
Well, specifically for the apprentices, we've got 2 apprentices actually in the program this year.
Okay.
And they're the initial cohort that's going through the program. There are outcomes, expectations that have been established for them. And so above and beyond teaching to the outcomes or participating to the outcomes, there are some other criteria that we use that we not yet, because it's early in the program, that we'll be probably getting together every 2 weeks to go through those individual learning opportunities to make sure that we are between what they're getting at HCC and what we're teaching with practical experience in the hotel is something that not only meets the needs of the outcomes, but exceeds those needs. And that's going to be a really cool time to have conversations a little bit more in depth with the 2 apprentices and really kind of challenge them as to what they have learned and how they are looking to apply it in the workplace.
Chuck was kind enough to share an inspiring story about Naysa as his apprentice and even give us some insight into her hiring process and how well she's been doing at the company.
I mean, the fun, quick story with Naysa is when she came to us in December of 21, she had never worked a day in her life. Mm-hmm. Her folks had said, as long as you maintain grades, we take care of things for you at school, and graduated summa cum laude, North Carolina A&T. And her mom had encouraged her to come down to the hotel and apply for a job, and interviewed with masks on and things, without a question, hired her just based upon personality. Mm-hmm. Okay? Lord knows she had no skills in the hospitality business. But we're a business that we can take somebody that has a personality, teach them the skills, and then allow them to flourish within their positions and continue to grow. And within 6 months, she'd taken on some supervisory responsibilities. A year later, she was formally given the supervisor title and has continued to grow. And when the apprenticeship program came into play, There was no question that she was going to be one of the candidates if she had wanted to. Again, she's already got a 4-year degree. Does she really want to go back to school for 2 more years at a community college, not working on a master's or a PhD? And there was no hesitation. She just jumped at the opportunity.
With Chuck's wealth of knowledge and industry experience, I was very curious to see how the apprenticeships have impacted his business operations and workforce development over the years.
Sure. The apprentice is, I think, classically in the trades as one where you hire somebody into a program and then teach them over a period of time a trade, and then they graduate and become a journeyman. In our side, from a hospitality perspective, it's a relatively new idea. It is something that really, from a state level, had only started about a year and a half or so ago, with some funding within the colleges. But the practical experience side of things is one thing, but helping through the apprenticeship program, the way it's designed to have the educational component. It's mandated through the hospitality apprenticeship program, hospitality manager apprenticeship program, that the individuals complete a 2-year degree program at a community college. And I think my experience is college in many ways is about the experience and about the critical thinking that comes with being challenged in a classroom with somebody that may not think the way that you think, or believe the way you believe, or understand things the way you do. And to have the dialogue that goes back and forth is something that you can't get in the workplace. So to have the opportunity for the educational component in addition to the on-the-job work experience, it's a big challenge. And Naysa hit on that a little bit earlier, that you're going to school 14 credits, you're working 8 hours a day, because it's a 2,000-hour program a year.
Oh, wow.
So they will allow you to have 2 weeks off, but you actually, work-wise, you got to work 2,000 hours to be a part of the program. It becomes a real challenge.
Lastly, Chuck, any advice you would give to other employers considering starting an apprenticeship program, especially with Howard Community College?
I'd tell you, for us, the critical component for us to make it viable, especially for a small business, is the grants that are available from both Howard County as well as the state of Maryland to help with the financial impact. There's a cost, an investment, so to speak, that comes with having one of your, or two in our case, team members become part of the program, and that can be tough to swallow, right, for employers. But it's also understanding the program and being open-minded to investing in the future of the people that are working for you. I would hope that Naysa and our other apprentices work with us until long after I retire. But if we're providing nothing more than an opportunity for them to advance in their careers, then I'm a happy camper. So from an employer standpoint, it's being open-minded about it. It's understanding the program and that the resources that are available to assist, so that it doesn't come as a pure expense to the business.
Right.
We look at it as an investment in people and not as a line item on a P&L. So they really need to just to look at the whole picture. And I've had the distinct pleasure on probably a half a dozen occasions to go out with the apprenticeship manager for the college and do a cooperative interview situation with prospective employers. And there's interest out there, but they don't understand. They're not able necessarily yet to articulate what the value is, and so it's helping them understand that so they can communicate it up the chain. And for us, our management company is incredibly supportive. We've got an apprentice over in Frederick County at one of our hotels over there, the two here, and so I've got the good fortune of having a management company that gets it and that puts people first.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you guys' success here is also serving as like a proof of concept so that we can continue to promote that and to get other companies involved, because there's an array of opportunities out here. Also, the impact it can have on the community and just the ways that things can grow. So it's good to hear the fact that HCC has been supportive.
Yeah, I think actually with the timing of the podcast and with National Apprenticeship Week next week, there will be opportunities. In fact, it's a very busy week. On Monday, we have the distinction of having the county executive, Calvin Ball, come by the hotel to make a presentation to us. On Wednesday, there's a hospitality fair at the Workforce Development Office for all the apprenticeship programs that Howard County offers. And then on Friday, there is, here on campus, is going to be a luncheon midday that we will be participating in too, that again will be introducing or reintroducing the program to employers that are interested and hopefully help them better understand what's available.
That's amazing. I got one more question for Naysa. I want your advice on what advice would you give to someone who's considering an apprenticeship in hospitality management?
Do it.
Yeah.
That's my advice. Do it. If you have the luxury of having someone that a management company that approves it, obviously, and a sponsor, it's 100% worth it. And that the time it'll be fast, and will you be a little stressed maybe, but again, it's worth it. And again, there's hospitality around you everywhere. It's not, you don't just have to apply in a hotel. There's so much you can do with this degree. There are certifications that come along with the degree. There's an event management coordinate certification. So there's just so much that you can do with this. If you have an employer that sees something in you and it's offered to you, absolutely take it. The professors here are amazing in the hospitality college. The advisors are great. The hospitality chair is amazing and just in communicating. So it is 100% worth it. If you got the opportunity, do it.
You guys heard it here first. You got to go for it. If you got the opportunity, go for it.
And a true apprentice versus other methods of learning is that you earn while you learn. So there is an employment element to it.
Yeah.
That it's not just volunteer work, but that they do have a chance to make money while they're learning.
Yeah.
As we come to the end of our journey today, I'd like to thank our guests, Naysa Peake and Chuck Chandler, for sharing their insights and experiences with us. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to another great episode. We look forward to having you back in the next episode as we continue to highlight the happenings here at HCC. This episode will be readily available for your listening pleasure on YouTube and all podcast streaming platforms. You can follow us for more updates on Campus Drive and all other Dragon Podcast favorites at Dragon Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks, and I'll catch you next time on Campus Drive. This is actually the first episode of Campus Drive. I'm so happy that you guys listen. Can't believe that all this is happening at once. So many good things I want to talk to you about. But first things first, make sure you guys go follow Dragon Podcast on all social media at Dragon Podcast everywhere. We're posting, we're running the account. Say hi, tag us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you guys to listen to our podcast. We have an amazing list of shows that we want you guys to listen to. Don't miss out. It's Dragon Podcast at Howard Community College. You're now listening to Campus Drive.